Latest football news, engaging debates,
and fascinating opinions.
Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Well, hello and welcome back to Pitchside Talk, a very special Pitchside Talk for once. We're doing something a bit different. Well, who am I joined by this week? Well, I'm joined by Dan and Piers, as always. They're still here. I haven't got rid of them just yet. We're signed up for a European contract, haven't we now, guys?
Yeah, we have.
And a summer contract, because, you know, it's apparently summer. It doesn't look very summery outside. It looks a bit cloudy and all sorts. Well, before I forget to mention, if you want to follow us on our Twitter, it is at Pitchside Talk. Instagram's talk_pitch. YouTube is Pitchside Talk. If you want to listen back to any of our previous shows, they're well worth a listen, especially yesterday's one. Cool. That's jam-packed with lots of goodness in there. And also, Mixcloud is Pitchside Talk. Well, guys, after 5 months or 149 days, the greatest cup competition is back. It is. Oh, I've mucked up here with my auto-tunes. Yes, that is right. That is the Champions League. It is back. It is finally back, and we're seeing 12 teams fight out over 11 games in 16 days to find out who will be the winner of the Champions League. So the teams we have left in the competition are Man City, Real Madrid 13 times, the champions Real Madrid. Juventus, they've won it twice. Lyon are still in it. Barcelona, 5-time champions. And Napoli, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Atalanta, PSG, RB Leipzig, and Atletico Madrid are all left in the competition. So what happened 5 months ago? 5 months is such a long time since we had some Champions League football. Well, Atletico Madrid, they stunned the champions Liverpool. They knocked them out at Anfield after a brilliant comeback from them. PSG came back against Borussia Dortmund, getting rid of their bottlers title. They now got through to the quarterfinals. RB Leipzig humiliated Tottenham at home across 2 legs. Atalanta surprised everybody. The biggest surprise of all, they reached the quarterfinals for the first time in their history. Before I forget to mention, all the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and the final will be taking place in Portugal, in Lisbon. Guys, the Champions League's back. Who's excited to see it? Finally, some football.
Hooray! Yeah, it's exciting that European football's back. I'm going to admit I'm not the biggest Champions League fan, as you probably know already. But yeah, it's exciting that European football's back, and it's exciting to see who's gonna go all the way and win it.
Yeah, I love the Champions League. It's my favourite competition, so it's good to see it back.
It is great to see it back. Well, let's just dive straight into it. So we have fixtures for the last 16 and the quarterfinals. Yes, the quarterfinals happening because some teams have already qualified for the quarterfinals back in March, but we have the last 16. So we've got Juventus taking on Lyon. Lyon have a 1-0 advantage over Juventus. Oh my word, but they are going to travel to Turin. Man City have a 2-1 aggregate lead over Real Madrid. Probably one of the biggest games of the whole tie. But we have Barcelona versus Napoli. That's currently 1-1 heading to the Nou Camp. And heading to the Allianz Arena is Chelsea against Bayern Munich. Chelsea 3-0 down against Bayern Munich. And some of the quarterfinals, we have one-legged quarterfinals. This is now a brand new thing. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be brilliant. Atalanta versus PSG. The fairy tale story versus probably one of the favourites for the whole competition. And RB Leipzig versus Atletico Madrid, or Tottenham v Liverpool, if you want to think it that way. But we're not going to, unfortunately. Well, we better just look at the 2 teams from the Premier League that are in the Champions League. So we have Manchester City, they're taking on Real Madrid, as I said, a 2-1 aggregate lead over the new La Liga champions. And got to remember, only a few seasons ago, they were winning their 3rd Champions League title under Zinedine Zidane. However, for Chelsea, they travelled to Bayern Munich with a 3-0 down to overturn at Bayern Munich. But Bayern Munich have previous against London clubs. We've seen it this season. Don't ask Tottenham fans what happened because they will tell you something different. But Chelsea have some great memories at the Bayern Munich stadium. So, guys, how far could we possibly expect these 2 sides to go in the competition? I think Chelsea's is a bit hard to sort of say because Bayern Munich have really performed this season. As we've seen, they've produced some brilliant scorelines against some great teams. But for Man City, this is their one real opportunity to win it, isn't it, this year?
Yeah, maybe. I think obviously after the season Man City have had, they'll want to bounce back and go far in this competition. Obviously for them it's kind of a failure of a season, so to win the Champions League, I think it'll be good for them. But obviously it's going to be tough against Real Madrid. I think did Real Madrid win the league in Spain?
Yes, they did.
They
Yes.
did. Yeah. So yeah, it's obviously going to be tough for them. They do go into the game with the advantage though. So I do back them to win this game, I think. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how far they go, because I don't know what teams they'll have after this. But I do think they have a chance. I think if they perform the way that they can do, I think they have a chance of going all the way, definitely.
Yeah, I think Manchester City have got a great chance. You know, personally for myself, I think them and Liverpool are probably the two top teams in the world at the moment. I think they've got some of the strongest squads and they play some of the best football. I think that they'll do well. Obviously, Real Madrid are always going to be a dangerous team. You know, they won it 3 times in a row not too long ago, so they're still a very dangerous side. But I just think Man City have just got that. Like Dan said, they haven't won anything. Well, apart from the League Cup, they haven't really won anything this season. So it's a bit of a disaster season for them. So they need to try and reclaim something. I think to win their first Champions League would be amazing. And with Chelsea, you know, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, we're going to go there and beat them. I just don't want to be embarrassed like Arsenal or Tottenham. Really, I don't want to go there and lose 4-0 again or 5-1. I just think, you know, Bayern Munich are brilliant this season. Their team is so in form. And I think they're going to win. I can't see Chelsea gaining this back at all.
It's that sort of hard. We're looking at these 2 games, and Man City stand a real chance. Chelsea have still got 90 minutes to go, but heading to the Bayern Munich Stadium, even if it's empty, it is still hard to go and get goals there. Does that sort of make it a bit sort of hard to sort of watch? Really, we've got one team that's fine, and then there's one team that's sort of effectively out. We're thinking about it in this way.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, it's going to be difficult, obviously, for Chelsea with the 3-0 deficit as well. It's looking like Bayern Munich are going to be the favourites to win the competition. So, yeah, it looks like they're already out. But you never know. Champions League does sometimes bring up some special. No.
No, best players injured, captains injured.
No.
Here
I
we
think
go.
Bayern Munich are going to go through.
The excuses. Oh God, he's just getting the excuses out of the way. Just don't watch. They're going to score 4 probably now. Before I forget to mention, we have got the potential quarterfinals. If Chelsea do win against Bayern Munich, if they do, they will have to go to, they will play Barcelona or Napoli in the next round. For Man City, they'll play Juventus or Lyon. So some really quite tasty games there. I guess we're now looking at possibly next leg. It's going to be probably Bayern Munich and Barcelona. I know Barcelona they're currently 1-1 on aggregate against Napoli, but Napoli have had a bit of a topsy-turvy season, really, with Ancelotti gone. Gattuso's now on. Gattuso's done quite well there, but you would favour Barcelona with Lionel Messi working his magic once again, wouldn't you guys?
Yeah, you got to back Barcelona in that game. I think you're right. I think obviously Bayern pretty much through, so they'll go and play Barcelona, which that'll be quite a good game, I think. 2 massive teams in Europe against each other in the quarterfinals. I think that'll be an exciting game. So yeah, I expect it to be Bayern versus Barcelona in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, you'd like to think Barcelona. I know, you know, they went out to Roma a few years ago, didn't they, when they had a lead? So you never know about Barcelona. Sometimes they can. You know, they had a 3-0 lead going to Anfield, you know, not too long ago. So, you know, I don't know if I could guarantee it. I know Napoli's a team that's got a lot of fight. I know they've got some good players, although they've got a bit of an aging squad in some areas. I still think they've got a chance, but I would expect Barcelona to get through and play Bayern Munich, which would be a gigantic match.
And what about the other games? So we've got Juventus versus Lyon. Lyon are currently winning 1-0 against Juventus. And if whoever wins will play Man City or Real Madrid. This one's quite hard to call, really. Who are we going to see in that quarterfinal then?
Yeah, it is quite hard to call. I think obviously you'd favour Juventus, but Lyon have that 1-0 lead. But it is in Turin, so I think Juventus want to bounce back, obviously, after the loss they had before lockdown. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. But I think I'm going to predict Juventus to go through. I think that they'll just have enough to get through to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I think I'm going to back Lyon for this one. I like their team. I think, they remind me a bit of Ajax the other year, when they got through to the semi-final. And I just didn't think Juventus looked great in that first leg. And I don't think, under Sarri, I don't think they played to their best ability, to be honest. So I would imagine I'm going to back Lyon for this one just because I do quite like an underdog. But, they've already got that 1-0 lead. So I'll give it to them.
Okay, well, let's look at some of the other teams in Europe that have really impressed this season. And start off with Bayern Munich. They've been ruthless and have humiliated sides. In their own backyard this season, they beat Red Star 6-0. Famously, they beat Tottenham 7-2. They've got 27 goals in 6 games. The Bayern Munich look like a scoring machine with Robert Lewandowski. Serge Gnabry has really come to form. They look like possibly the favourites of the season. Probably everybody's favourites, aren't they?
Yeah, they're definitely my favourites to win the competition. And as you said, they're on absolute fire at the moment. So, yeah, obviously they're already kind of through into the quarterfinals. But with that scoring power, I think they're definitely favourites to win the competition. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do. They've had a good season in the Bundesliga, obviously. But yeah, they're looking fantastic. So I think whoever they come up against, they'll probably be favourites to win it, definitely.
Yeah, Bayern Munich do look great. I'd say the team's so strong. So many good players that have been performing so well. That Alphonso Davies is a standout player for me. I think he's been brilliant. And obviously Lewandowski has been in brilliant form, Serge Gnabry. But I still think they can be beaten. I still think teams like, PSG and Manchester City are still two teams that people need to realise can beat them. And also, Atletico Madrid, they're good at shutting teams out. They do it all the time. So, these teams are still very dangerous for Bayern Munich.
Well, speaking of PSG, they've shown some real class this season. 5 wins in 6 games in the group stages. Qualified quite easily in a group with Real Madrid. They had that bit of a struggle at Borussia Dortmund, and they sort of had to come back. They removed that Bottas title they got when they lost to Barcelona. Are they sort of the team that it looks like it's going to be their best year, but they have got that improvement, and Kylian Mbappe is going to be out until the semi-finals because of that dead leg he suffered in the French Cup. So that's going to be the big problem. But they're going to be relying on Neymar and the other scoring powers. But they look really good, don't they, PSG? Is this their best chance? It could be for a few years.
Yeah, it could be. I think obviously they've got a fantastic squad. Mbappe missing out is going to be big for them though. But yeah, I think they can go far. Whether they're going to win the competition, I think they can maybe be considered as one of the favourites. But whether going all the way, I'm not quite sure about that. But they have a fantastic side, and this could be their best year. But don't know if they're going to win the whole thing.
Yeah, PSG look good. A big miss for Mbappe. Personally, I think they might be my favourites. I love the way they play. They play quick, exciting football, and their attack is so dangerous. I think a team that they would really struggle against is Manchester City. I could see that being a team they'd struggle against. I just think a very physical, strong team that would play similar football to themselves. I think they would really sort of struggle against. But apart from that, I could see them beating any other of the teams in the last 16.
Well, funny enough, if I remember correctly, I think, let's have a quick look. Yeah, they will have to possibly play Man City at one point in the competition because of how things are working. If they do win the quarterfinals against Atalanta, which we'll talk about second, and Man City do well, they will have to play them in the semi-finals, which will be quite a tasty game, if I have to say so myself. I personally will watch that one myself. But moving on to Atalanta, the fairy tale story of the year. First time ever in the competition. I think they have to go through the qualifying stages. They got into the quarterfinals for the first time ever. After they lost their first 3 games in the group stages, and looked down and out, picked up a draw against Man City, won the last 2, qualified in second. beat Valencia in over the course of 2 legs, I think both by 4 goals and 8-4 on aggregate, and now playing PSG for the first time. Could they really be the team that they've got this fairy tale story behind them? They could really upset some. They could just really upset some teams really this year.
Yeah, they could, and I think everyone loves that underdog story. It's fantastic that they've got this far. It's going to be difficult for them. Obviously, they've got PSG coming up, which is a really tough game. So I think it's going to be difficult for them to go all the way. But I'd love to see them go far, because it's more exciting when an underdog gets through into semi-finals and finals. So yeah, I'd really like them to get through, but against PSG, it's going to be a very tough ask to go out there and beat them, especially as it's one leg as well, I think, isn't it? So
yeah, it's one leg.
Yeah, so it's going to be a struggle. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to back Atlanta for this game against PSG, but I would like to see them go through.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going good enough to get Champions League originally. They're building a side that looks like they're going to do well with the Serie A and the Champions League. Like Dan said, with it being one leg, it's very hard. I think over 2 legs, it probably would have favoured them if they could have got a 0-0 at home and then nicked a freak away goal in like a second leg and then gone through. But I think in one game, it's going to be quite hard for them. And I think PSG, after that comeback against Dortmund, I think they're going to be up front and realise that they can win this competition, and that title or bottling might be behind them. So I would strongly favour PSG for this.
Well, funny enough, Atalanta have actually qualified for the Champions League next year, so we will see them if they don't go too far in this year's competition. But another team that has been a big dark horse season has been RB Leipzig, and Julian Nagelsmann's side have destroyed teams in the way with their pace and their attacking power in the group stages, and Tottenham they found out quite easily. They're in the last 16. They're into quarterfinals against Atletico Madrid, who we'll talk about in a second. But they lost Timo Werner over the summer period. He's now gone to Chelsea. But teams should still be feared of them, because they're being compared to Ajax last year, who made the semi-finals, nearly made the final if it wasn't for Lucas Moura. And they're being compared to Jose Mourinho's winning side in 2004 of Porto. So they could really they look really good, don't they? Without Tim, I know Timo Werner's going to be a big miss, but they've got players that can come in and fill that gap, can't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think they've got a really good squad. I know that they kind of come from nowhere, really, haven't they? They were kind of, no one really heard of them before, and I think they're kind of like the team that's hated in Germany because they just use their money to get where they are. So yeah, it's interesting to see how well they're doing, and I think they have a really good squad. It's going to be obviously tough against Atletico Madrid, but yeah. Obviously, losing Timo Werner is going to be tough for them, but they, as you said, they may have the replacements for him. So I don't know if they're going to go all the way in this competition, but I think they could be positive for the future of their club, definitely. But obviously losing Werner, that's a crucial player for them. So it'll be interesting to see how they do going into next year and see if they can improve on what they're doing.
Yeah, good side. Obviously lost a key player, but I don't think there'll be no Ajax story this year for them or Porto. I think Atletico Madrid, after their performance at Anfield, I think it just shows that. So they've been so close so many times. There so many finals in the last few years. Obviously, it always seems to lose to sort of Real Madrid. I think now is their perfect opportunity. I think they look great at the back, Atletico Madrid, and they're doing well up top. Morata's doing well up top, so I think he'll cause a lot of problems for them, and I would see Atletico breezing past him, really.
Well, speaking of that, Atletico Madrid, the final team we're going to mention here, they've thrown the cat amongst the pigeons, dumping out the defending champions Liverpool, beating them at Anfield 3-2. They struggled a lot in the group stages. They just squeezed through. They didn't look very impressive as runners-up, but they have a perfect opportunity here. As like you said, they've got a perfect opportunity. They haven't got to go the Real Madrid side of the Champions League. They will could face Barcelona, Napoli, Bayern Munich, or Chelsea in the semi-final. So they've got quite a good route into the semi-finals and a perfect opportunity to beat RB Leipzig if they're going to be struggling without Tierney because we haven't seen them play yet without him yet.
Yeah. Atletico Madrid are looking really good, and going to Arsenal, going to Liverpool and beating them at Anfield is massive. That's a massive win for them. And yeah, obviously, yes, you said they looked mediocre really in the group stage, but they're looking really good now. And I expect them, as Piers said, to breeze past Leipzig in this game. And yeah, it's looking good for them. I think they could go far. But yeah, there is other big teams in the competition as well. But I do look forward to see where they go.
Yeah, it will be good. Once teams get to the semi-final, anything can happen. But a game against them and Bayern Munich would be a brilliant game. Their defense versus Bayern Munich's attack. It would be a brilliant game to see. So I'd love to see that. Love to see that happen, really. But yeah, I think they've still got every chance of winning it. But obviously, if it was between them, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, PSG, or Barcelona, whatever, they would be the ones at the bottom of the list, wouldn't they? You would say favourites. So it's not going to be easy for them. But anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Well, the final question is, who's going to go all the way and win the Champions League? The favourites at the moment are Man City from Man City? Man City from Bayern Munich, PSG, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and Atalanta are the favourites to win this year's competition. So, who are we going to be going for as the 19/20 Champions League winners?
I'm going to go for Bayern Munich. I just think some of the results that they've had in this competition are mental, really. That result against Tottenham was mad. I just think that their squad is strong enough to win the competition and can beat teams around them. So yeah, I think I'm going to go for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Paris Saint-Germain. I think they look very good. To come back against Dortmund, should be a great fight. Obviously, they're going to lose Mbappe for the quarterfinals, but I don't think the quarterfinals are going to be too hard for them anyway. So I'm going to back them to win it.
Okay, well, that is everything for our little Champions League special. I hope you enjoyed. I thought I forgot to mention if you want to follow us on any of our social medias for any more Champions League news. It's pretty simple. Twitter, it's @Pitchside Talk. Instagram's talk_pitch. If you want to watch the show, it's on YouTube. It's going to be @Pitchside Talk. Any of our previous shows as well. And the Mixcloud, if you want to listen to it as an audio base, is on Pitchside Talk. Well, I want to say thank you for watching or listening this little special. I hope you enjoyed it. I've been George. I've been joined this week by Dan and Piers as always. I hope you enjoy the Champions League, and we'll see you later. And ciao.
Yep.
The whistle has been blown for full time. Tune in next week for another jam-packed show.